This is a video to demonstrate what happens when the flashcards have graduated from the weekday sessions to the weekly side of the folder. The weekly side is usually conducted by a teacher, an education assistant, or by a parent who's using the folder independently of school. If you haven't watched the parent demonstration video that goes through what happens in the pockets that have the green labels, I suggest that you do that before you go on to watch this video, which is what happens on the other side of the folder. Now you'll notice that there are a lot of flashcards in this first rest pocket. Remember that the teacher is only going to address the content on this side of the folder once a week. So as the flashcards have graduated during the week from this pocket when correct, they have been accumulating in this rest pocket during the last 7 days. I'm now going to take you through what happens on this side of the folder over the next 4 weeks. The first thing that you'll notice is that these flashcards are in a rest pocket. You'll know from the previous video that the flashcards in this rest pocket will simply move as a bundle up to the next pocket. They would have been in this pocket for up to 7 days, and now they're going to sit in this pocket waiting for the next weekly session. So the total interval for the flashcards waiting here will be 7 to 14 days. And that's all that happens at the first weekly session. You'll notice that content has graduated from this pocket into the first rest pocket during the week. And here is the content that we moved up in the last session 1 week ago. Now, the testing on this side of the tool is exactly the same as on this side in that we move backwards through the pockets. This is the content that is furthest along, so this is where I'll start. I want to rearrange this mixed content into maths and English, so I'll just do that in my hand. That's ready to go. The first flashcard is a sight word, and I'll be asking the student if they can recognise that sight word. They said it was there, which is correct, and I'd ask them to give me a sentence just so I was sure that they had the correct meaning. This is recognising a phonic sound. They got that correct, and I'd ask them for some words that have the qu sound. This one is a CVC word. I'd ask them to sound that out or read it to me, and yes, that was correct, and so that moves forward to the next pocket. This flashcard says, which 2 words combine to form the word there? Unfortunately, they couldn't recognise that there is made up of they are, so that would go back to the pocket that it came from. Here's another contraction, I'm. Yes, they knew that I'm is made up of I am, so that one moves forward to the next pocket. Here we have a spelling word, so I would ask them to write the word protecting. And if they spelt that correctly, then it would move forward. Now I'm up to the maths flashcards. I would be asking double 7. Fortunately, they have forgotten that one, so that goes back to the same pocket. Now, lots of the flashcards in the Flashcard Club are about math strategies. So this is a subtraction sum, 73 take 21, and we would have been working on this strategy of taking the ones away first. So we would take 1 off the 73 to make 72, which would then be 72 take 20. We'd talk about skip counting back by tens to do this sum in their head. So yes, they could explain how to do this and get the correct answer. This is a subitizing question. They just have to be able to tell me how many dots they see without counting, and they could. Here we have a computational triangle where I'm looking for the student to tell me the multiplication and division facts they see for 2 using the numbers 16, 8 and 2. And they couldn't tell me all of them, and so we will put that flashcard back in the pocket it came from. Here's a mixed addition strategy flashcard where the student's going to add 4 numbers together, but they're going to explain to me the easiest way to do that. And what they may do is explain to take 1 off the 4 and put it on the 5. That would make 3 and 7, and they know that's a friend of 10. And then they've got 6 and 6, double 6, so that's 12. And then they might say, so 10 and 10 and 2 more would make 22. That moves forward. 5 times 7, unfortunately, they couldn't remember that times table. We might talk about skip counting up by 5s or different ways that they could remember, but that goes back to the same pocket. We've got a telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. They couldn't recognise that time, and we might talk about there being 5-minute increments between the numbers and do a couple of other examples, but that goes back to the same pocket. Here we have a couple of different flashcards. The first one is personal goals, and the folder is a tool that helps students to remember, and so they can use it for a whole variety of different situations. So this flashcard says, I raise my hand and wait to be called in group situations. We're looking for progress. So the options are no, sometimes, usually, yes. And the teacher will be in a good position to know if progress has been made with that goal. So that one moves forward. And this one is pencil grip. So the teacher will ask to see the student's pencil grip, and they can compare it to the picture there of the tripod grip. And they did have the correct pencil grip. We've tested this pocket. The content has gone back if it wasn't remembered, and the content that was correct has moved forward. So we finished this pocket. We're going to step back to the next pocket. This is a rest pocket, so we're simply going to take this content without testing it and move it up. Now we have an empty pocket for the following week, ready to receive the correct content from this pocket. So that's the end of that session. The weekly test is a great time to top up the store pocket. So if that pocket is always kept full, it means that the process can continue indefinitely. Another week has gone past, so we will be beginning from the pocket that has the content furthest along and working backwards. So this is a rest pocket. This content is simply going to be moved forward to the next pocket. We move backwards to the test pocket. And we're going to shuffle those flashcards so that the maths flashcards are tested continuously, and so are the English flashcards. So time to 5 minutes. Yes, the student could tell me that that was 5 past 12, so that moves forward. 5 times 7 is 35. They correctly answered. And they could also tell me the sums in the computational triangle. 8 times 2 is 16, 2 times 8 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8, 16 divided by 8 is 2. So that moves forward. Double 7 was still not remembered. So we would talk a little bit about that, and I would give the answer. We'd talk about some ways perhaps that it could be remembered. And this is a flashcard that is using doubles to work out the answer mentally. So 6 take away 3. If they could tell me that double 3 is 6, so the answer is 3, then that would move forward. Describe the features of this 3D object. So I would be looking for their ideas on that, and they could describe that. It moves forward. Now we're up to the English flashcards. How many words in this sentence? Have a lovely birthday. Well, they didn't count the and so that goes back to the same pocket. Which two words combine to form he's? They weren't sure about that. We talk about he is. So that goes back to the same pocket. He'll, which two words make up he'll? He will, that moves forward, that was correct. And which two words combine to form there? And they said they are, so that moves forward. So this pocket has now been tested. Content has moved forward if correct, or back to the same pocket if not correct. Then we move backwards and we see we're at a rest pocket. So this content moves forward without being tested. And that's the end of that week's session. It's 1 week later and I'm going to add some more content to the store pocket. You can see that flashcards have graduated up to the first pocket on this side of the folder. And I'm going to start from this pocket and work backwards through the blue side of the tool. This pocket says rest. Nothing is going to happen with those. They're just going to move forward as a bundle. This pocket says rest. They are going to move forward without being tested. Moving back to the next pocket, I'm going to take these ones out. I'm going to rearrange them into maths and English. Which two words combine to form they'll? They told me they will. That was correct. The student could tell me that he's is made up of he is, so that moves forward. How many words in this sentence have a lovely birthday? Yes, they could tell me that that was 4 words. It moves forward. 8 take away 4 using doubles. They couldn't explain that double 4 is 8, so 8 take 4 is 4, so that will go back into the same pocket. Describe the features of this cone. They were struggling with that, so we would talk about the different aspects of that shape. That goes back to the same pocket. 18 take 9. So this is using doubles again, and they could tell me that double 9 is 18, so 18 take away 9 would be 9. And double 7, yes, they've remembered that that is 14, so that moves forward. We've just tested this pocket, so I'm going to move back to this pocket, which is a rest pocket. Those flashcards move up as a bundle, and this pocket is now empty, ready to receive the correct flashcards from this section. 1 week has passed. I'm going to top up the store pocket. And we are now finally going to be commencing our weekly test from the Mastery Test pocket. The content in this pocket has been sitting here for 1 week before testing. It was sitting here for a week and it was sitting here for a week. So the total interval that this content has been waiting for testing is 3 weeks. So that's why this is called the Mastery Test pocket. If the content in this pocket tests correctly, we can be confident that it has been mastered. So from now on, this is where the once a week test will commence from. I'm going to make sure that these are arranged into English and maths. And we're right to start. It's a subitizing question, which just means that a student can recognize the quantity without having to count the individual dots, and that is correct. That moves forward into the mastered pocket. From here, these flashcards can be removed from the tool. Sometimes students do a tally of the total number of their mastered flashcards. They may put it in a Ziploc bag. Those are options that the teacher can consider. So this is subtracting using tens and ones. They take a 1 off the 20, take away from the 3, so then it's 72, take 20, and the student answers correctly that that is 52. That is mastered. The student shows me a strategy for adding together these 4 numbers. This time they add 6 and 4 to make 10, and then they know 7 and 5 is 12, and then they can add those 2 numbers to make 22. So that moves forward. Which 2 words combine to form I'm, I am? And of course you're recognising their hard work, recognising the fact that they've been persevering with this learning. This is a high frequency word. There, they haven't remembered that word. That will go back into the same pocket. I raised my hand and waited to be called on in group situations. That kind of has slipped behind a little bit. So the teacher might say, let's keep working on that one. The student demonstrates the correct pencil grip, so that moves forward. They can sound out this phonics word. I ask them to write down the word protecting as a spelling flashcard, and they could do that. And they recognised this phonics sound as qu and could give me some examples of words that have that sound in it. So I've tested this pocket. I'm going to move back to this rest pocket. That moves forward as a bundle. This bundle is also in a rest pocket. That moves forward without testing, and then I start on this pocket. Describe the features of a 3D object. This cone, the student could do that. It moves forward. 8 take away 4. They used doubles to tell me that the answer was 4. I've got a spelling word, hurting. They write that down, but they haven't spelt it correctly. We talk about the part that they got wrong and perhaps how they can remember it next time. So that will go back to the same pocket. 20 take 10. They could use doubles to tell me the answer. 12 take 6. They forgot that double 6 is 12, so that's going to go back to the same pocket. 12 divided by 4. They use skip counting to tell me that answer was 3. 2 words combine to form it's. What are those 2 words? They weren't sure about that one, so we talk about the answer, which is it is, goes back to the same pocket. And then 39 take away 12. They're going to take 2 off the 9 to make 37 take 10, and they could tell me that that was 27. So that moves forward. We've tested this pocket. We're going to move back to this one. This is a rest pocket, and that bundle can move forward. And this is also the time when I would add to the store pocket. Thanks for watching this demo on the weekly testing session. If you'd like any further information, please get in touch. If you'd like school training, I do complimentary training, let me know. All the best.